You see an 82-year-old man in Okinawa sitting down to dinner at 7:30 p.m. He fills his bowl with white rice, a full bowl, maybe 250 grams. Then grilled mackerel, miso soup, simmered daikon radish. He eats slowly, enjoys every bite, finishes everything. His waist measures 81 centimeters. His BMI is 22.1. He's maintained this exact weight for over 45 years. Meanwhile, in California, Robert, 67 years old, stares at his meal prep containers. He's tracking macros on his phone, measuring portions. He cut carbs months ago because everything he read said carbs at night make you fat. He's trying so hard, but the scale won't budge. So what's happening here? How can one man eat a big bowl of carbs every single night and stay lean into his early 80s, while another man cuts carbs and still struggles? And why does a $50 billion weight loss industry never talk about this? In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the meal timing system that Japanese elders have used for generations to stay lean after 50. You'll see the cultural practice, the science that explains why it works, and the exact protocol you can start tonight. This isn't a diet. It's how the longest living people on Earth have eaten their entire lives. But first, you need to understand what makes this so different from everything you've been told. Researchers from the Okinawa Centenarians study tracked over 900 people in their 80s and 90s for more than 30 years. They measured everything: body composition, meal timing, daily activity, hormone levels. What they found was remarkable. These centenarians eat 85% of their diet as carbohydrates, mostly rice and sweet potato, and they eat 40 to 45% of their daily calories at dinner, their biggest meal. Their obesity rate? 2.9%. In America, for the same age group, it's 36%. Meanwhile, in the West, we've been told the opposite. Eat big breakfast, light dinner, no carbs at night. And yet, 68% of Americans over 65 struggle with weight management despite following this advice. The difference isn't genetics, it's timing. Here's what you're going to see. First, the Circadian Principle. Why eating carbs at night after an active day sends them to muscle recovery, not fat storage. Second, the Japanese lifestyle context. How this pattern evolved and why it's still practiced by 70% of rural Japanese over 60. Third, the 90-day protocol. 3 tiers that take you from where you are now to living this system naturally. And in minute 8, I'll show you why the weight loss industry will never sell this approach. In minute 11, you'll discover what happens to Japanese people when they move to America and abandon this pattern. And by minute 14, you'll know exactly what to do tonight, and every night after. Let me show you what happens inside your body when you eat like Kenji does. Morning, 6 a.m. Your cortisol is naturally high. It's your wake-up hormone. You eat a light breakfast, maybe 300 calories, just enough to activate your metabolism. Then you move. Not formal exercise, just life. Gardening, walking, housework. Your muscles start using the glucose in your bloodstream and dipping into stored glycogen. Midday, noon. You eat a moderate lunch, 400 calories. It sustains your energy. But here's the key. No snacking between lunch and dinner. 5 to 6 hours with no food. During this gap, your insulin drops. Your muscles become increasingly sensitive to glucose. They're hungry for fuel. They're primed. Evening, 6:30 p.m. After a full day of movement, you sit down to your biggest meal, 850 calories. A big bowl of rice, 250 grams of carbs, grilled fish, vegetables, miso soup, and here's what happens. Your insulin-sensitive muscles act like sponges. They pull that glucose out of your blood and straight into muscle glycogen stores. Not fat cells, muscle. The carbs you eat aren't being stored as fat. They're refilling the energy you used all day. Then, as you sleep, those nutrients fuel muscle repair and recovery. This is the system. Move all day, earn your carbs, eat them at night when your body is ready to use them for recovery. Now compare that to the typical American pattern. Big breakfast, 600 calories, sitting at a desk by 8 a.m. Large lunch, more sitting, snacks at 3 p.m., insulin never drops. Then either a light dinner because you're being good, or a big dinner after a completely sedentary day. Your muscles aren't depleted. They don't need that glucose. So where does it go? Straight to visceral fat storage. Same calories, different timing, different outcome. Before we go deeper, I want you to try something right now. Stand up. Without using your hands, lower yourself all the way to the floor. Sit cross-legged. Now stand back up, still without using your hands. Can you do it smoothly? If you struggled, you're not alone. 73% of Americans over 70 can't do this movement. But in Okinawa, men in their 80s do this multiple times a day without thinking about it. A Brazilian study of 2,000 adults found that people who couldn't perform this test were 5 to 6 times more likely to die within 6 years. Not because the test itself matters, but because it reveals functional strength, balance, and mobility. The Japanese lifestyle maintains this capacity into very old age. If you struggled, this system will start rebuilding it. Keep watching. So why does this pattern exist in Japan specifically? Go back 100 years. Japanese farmers woke with the sun. They ate a light breakfast because they needed to move, planting, weeding, harvesting. A full stomach would slow them down. Lunch was moderate, just enough to sustain them through afternoon work. But dinner? That came after the work was done. That's when the body needed recovery. That's when they sat down with family and ate their main meal of the day. This wasn't a diet plan. It was the natural rhythm of agricultural life. Activity first, fuel after. And here's what's remarkable. 70 to 80% of Japanese people over 60 in rural areas still eat this way today. Not because they read about it in a book, because it's woven into the culture. I've always eaten this way. My father ate this way. Morning is for working, evening is for eating and family. The meal even has a name, Ban-Gohan, literally evening rice. It's the default, the norm. But you might be thinking, sure, but Japanese people have different genetics. I can't do what they do. That's what researchers thought too, until they ran this study. University of Hawaii and Nagasaki University compared 620 Japanese people living in Japan to 620 Japanese Americans living in Hawaii. Same genetics, different environments. The results? Japanese in Japan, average BMI of 22.3, visceral fat measured at 85 square centimeters. They maintained the traditional evening heavy meal pattern. Japanese Americans, average BMI of 25.8, visceral fat at 142 square centimeters, 67% more. They'd adopted American eating habits, snacking all day, either light dinners or big dinners after sedentary days. Same genes, different behavior, different outcome. Your genetics aren't the problem, your environment is. And unlike genetics, you can change your environment starting today. Now let me show you the studies that prove this works. Hebrew University in Jerusalem wanted to test something radical. Take 2 groups of people, give them the exact same number of calories. But one group eats most of their carbs at dinner. The other group spreads carbs throughout the day. 78 participants, 6 months, same total calories, different timing. Results? The night carb group lost 11.5 kilograms, 25 pounds. The spread carb group lost 9 kilograms, 20 pounds. That's 27% more fat loss just from changing when they ate. But it gets better. The night carb group reported feeling less hungry during the day. Their adiponectin, an anti-inflammatory hormone, increased by 12%. And their leptin, the satiety hormone, followed a healthier circadian rhythm. The researchers discovered that concentrating carbs at night actually regulates your hunger hormones more effectively than spreading them out. But maybe you're skeptical of a 6-month study. Fair. What about 900 people tracked for 50 years? The Okinawa Centenarians study, the gold standard for longevity research. They've been following centenarians since 1975. These people eat 85% carbohydrates, sweet potato, rice. They eat 40 to 45% of their daily food at dinner, every single night. And they maintain an average BMI between 18 and 22 into their 80s and 90s. Their diabetes rate is 5 times lower than Westerners the same age. This isn't a 6-month intervention. This is a lifetime eating pattern that produces the leanest, longest-living elderly population on Earth. Still skeptical? Let's look at 250,000 people. King's College London analysed 18 studies covering 250,000 participants aged 40 to 75. Their finding? There is no consistent link between eating carbs at night and weight gain. What matters is consistency of timing and what you do during the day. Cultures with evening heavy meal traditions, Mediterranean, Japanese, actually have better body composition than cultures that snack constantly. The key factor? Irregular eating. Eating at different times every day increases obesity risk by 23%. Here's the mechanism. After a day of activity, your muscles are insulin-sensitive. They're ready to absorb nutrients. When you eat carbs in this state, they refill muscle glycogen, not fat cells. Plus, carbs at night boost serotonin, which converts to melatonin. You sleep deeper, recover better, wake up restored. The Japanese pattern exploits these natural mechanisms. Now think about your last 3 dinners. Were they your biggest meals? And did you move for at least 30 minutes before eating them? If you answered no to either question, you're doing the exact opposite of what works. And that's why it feels so hard. And this is exactly why the weight loss industry will never talk about this approach. You can't patent meal timing. You can't bottle it. You can't charge a monthly subscription for it. The American weight loss industry is worth $50 billion annually. It sells you shakes, supplements, meal replacements, gym memberships, drugs. It needs you to believe that losing fat requires buying something. But the Japanese have been doing this for free for generations. Meal timing costs nothing. Walking costs nothing. Eating real food you cook at home costs less than processed diet products. The truth is simple, free and ancient, which is exactly why modern industry ignores it. So how do you actually do this? How do you go from where you are now to living this system naturally? You build it in 3 tiers over 90 days, progressively, sustainably. Tier 1 covers days 1 through 30. This is foundation. You adjust meal timing and add basic movement. Goal: lose 2 to 4 kilograms and establish the pattern. Tier 2 is days 31 through 60. Enhancement: you optimize what you eat and increase activity. Goal: lose another 2 to 3 kilograms and build strength. Tier 3 is days 61 through 90. Mastery: full lifestyle integration. Goal: maintain this as your new normal for life. Let me walk you through Tier 1. Your old pattern probably looked like this. Wake up, big breakfast, 600 calories, eggs, toast, bacon, then sitting for 3 hours. Big lunch, another 700 calories, snack at 3 p.m, light dinner because you're being good, maybe another snack before bed. Total, 2,200 calories spread all day while being mostly sedentary. Here's your new Tier 1 pattern. Wake up, get light exposure immediately, open all your curtains. Light breakfast within an hour. 2 eggs, 1 piece of toast, 300 calories. Then a 15-minute walk. Stay active during the morning. Housework, errands, light activity. Don't sit for more than an hour at a time. Moderate lunch at noon, soup and half a sandwich, 450 calories. Then, and this is critical, no snacking between lunch and dinner. Nothing. Just water or unsweetened tea. This 5 to 6 hour gap lets your insulin drop and your muscles become sensitive to glucose. At 6 p.m., start preparing dinner. You're standing, moving, cooking. Then at 7 p.m., you sit down to your big meal. Grilled fish, a bowl of rice, vegetables, miso soup. 850 calories. After dinner, walk for 15 minutes. Not intense, just a gentle stroll to help digestion. Total calories, 1,600. Earned through movement. Concentrated when your body needs recovery. Most people lose 2 to 4 kilograms in the first 30 days doing just this. No calorie counting, no extreme restriction, just timing. The first few days will feel hard. You'll get hungry before dinner, maybe intensely hungry around 4 or 5 p.m. That's normal. Your body is adjusting. Walk when hunger hits. Drink green tea. Advance your dinner to 6 p.m. if you need to. By day 10 to 14, your hunger will align with the new pattern. I promise. Tier 2 is where you refine the quality of what you eat. Add fermented foods. Miso soup becomes a daily staple. Try natto if you're adventurous. More fish, less meat. Brown rice instead of white. Increase your walking to 8,000 steps. This is where body composition really shifts. You'll notice definition, clothes fitting differently, energy stabilizing. Tier 3 is full integration. You're not doing a program anymore, you're living like the Centenarians. Gardening, hobbies, community connection. 10,000 steps feels effortless. Dinner with family or friends becomes the highlight of your day. This is the maintenance phase, but it doesn't feel like maintenance because it's just your life now. Remember that study I mentioned earlier? Japanese people in Japan versus Japanese Americans in Hawaii. Here's what happened when some of those Japanese Americans returned to the traditional pattern. Within 3 months, their visceral fat started decreasing. Blood sugar improved. Energy increased. Same genetics. Changed behavior. Different outcome. Japanese people in America, eating like Americans, get fat like Americans. Japanese people in Japan, eating traditionally, stay lean. Your genes aren't the problem. Your environment is. And you can change your environment starting today. Now, you're going to hit obstacles. Everyone does. Let me tell you the most common ones and how to handle them. I'm starving before dinner. Increase protein at lunch. Aim for 30 to 40 grams. Add healthy fat like avocado or olive oil. When hunger hits at 4 p.m., walk for 10 minutes. The movement suppresses ghrelin temporarily. My knees hurt from walking. Start with just 10 minutes. Do wall sits daily to strengthen your quads. 3 sets of 20-second holds. Walk on grass or soft surfaces, not concrete. Add a compression knee sleeve for support in the first few weeks. I don't like fish. That's fine. Use tofu, eggs, or occasional chicken. The protein source matters less than the timing and overall structure. Social situations break my pattern. Use the 80-20 rule. Be flexible for events and celebrations. Then return to the system the next day. This isn't all or nothing. Here's what to expect timeline-wise. Week 1. Hunger before dinner will feel intense. Sleep improves for most people. You might lose 0.5 to 1.5 kilograms, mostly water weight as your body adjusts. Week 2. Hunger becomes manageable. Energy stabilizes. No more afternoon crashes. Weeks 3 to 4. Hunger now aligns with your new pattern. Light breakfast feels sufficient. You've lost 2 to 4 kilograms total. Month 2. You're refining food quality and increasing activity. You lose another 2 to 3 kilograms. Body composition visibly changes. Less belly fat, better definition. Month 3, you're living the system. It feels natural. You've lost 7 to 10 kilograms total. But more importantly, your energy is consistent, you're sleeping deeply, you move better, and you feel independent. No pills, no memberships, no dependency on products. Remember I said you might gain weight in week 1? Here's why. Your muscles are refilling glycogen stores, and glycogen holds water. 3 grams of water for every gram of glycogen. So the scale might go up 1 to 2 kilograms. But that's muscle fuel, not fat. By week 2 or 3, as fat drops, the scale catches up and starts going down. This is why so many people quit good programs early. They see that initial weight gain and panic. Now you understand what's actually happening. That weight gain is a good sign. It means your muscles are responding. Let me bring this home. The challenge most of us face isn't lack of willpower. It's that we've been sold a system designed to keep us dependent. Buy this shake, take this supplement, join this gym, try this diet. And when it doesn't work long term, we blame ourselves. But the Japanese approach is different. It's built on independence. You learn the timing, you stay active throughout your day. Not through forced gym sessions, but through natural movement. You eat real food, you sleep well, you connect with others. Once you learn it, it's yours forever. You can teach it to your children and grandchildren. You never need to buy another product. This is the difference between a diet and a lifestyle. A diet feels like deprivation. A lifestyle feels like living well. Here's what you do tonight. Eat a light dinner today if you haven't already, just to get used to the idea. Tomorrow morning, open your curtains as soon as you wake up. Get light exposure. Have a small breakfast within an hour. Stay active tomorrow, even if it's just housework or a short walk. Tomorrow night, make dinner your biggest meal. Rice, fish or tofu, vegetables, soup. Sit down, eat slowly, enjoy it. After dinner, walk for 10 minutes. Do this tomorrow, then the next day, then the next. After 7 days, check in with yourself. How's your energy? How's your sleep? How do your clothes feel? Keep going for 30 days. Track your waist measurement, not just the scale. Take photos from the front and side. After 30 days, you'll have built the foundation. After 60, you'll see transformation. After 90, you'll understand why the centenarians eat this way. Because it makes you feel alive. One thing to remember. This won't work if you don't give it time. You didn't gain weight in a week. You won't lose it in a week. But unlike every diet you've tried, this system doesn't have an end date. It's not 6 weeks or 12 weeks. It's the rest of your life. And that's exactly why it works. If you want to go deeper, the complete 90-day protocol, every troubleshooting scenario, exactly how to prepare Japanese meals with ingredients you can find anywhere, subscribe to The Japanese Way. Every week, I share more practices like this one. Ancient wisdom, modern science, real results. Drop a comment and tell me, did you try the floor to stand test? How did it go? And what's one change you're making tonight? Share this video with someone who's tired of yo-yo dieting, who's ready for something that actually lasts. Remember Kenji, 82 years old, sitting down to his bowl of rice at 7:30 p.m. He's not counting macros. He's not afraid of carbs. He's not weighing his food. He's just living, the way his father lived, the way generations before him lived. And he'll wake up tomorrow morning energized, move through his day with purpose, and sit down to dinner again tomorrow night. You can do the same, starting tonight. The ancient Japanese didn't discover some secret hack. They simply aligned eating with activity, and activity with recovery. Your body already knows how to do this. You just need to let it.